welcome to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Wolu. A reminder, we are streaming live on Sportsnet YouTube channel and airing live on Sportsnet 360, Monday to Friday between 2 and 3 p.m. I'm joined in the first segment by producer and co-host Alex Wong. Are you not planning to join me for the second? What's going on, man?
I'm here for every segment from now on until the end of the season.
Yeah, so break that down for us. What's going on?
Yeah, so yesterday was my last off-air day. As we've been mentioning, the show's going to 2 hours next week until the Raptors get bounced. So
Damn, until June?
Yeah, so we'll have plenty of guests joining us, but I'll be here every day, pretty much in the first hour at least.
You sound thrilled, man. You sound really excited.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Adulting is hard.
I could sense the enthusiasm you have for coming to the office 5 days a week, unlike the 3 that you're averaging prior to this.
Yeah, how do you guys work Monday to Friday? How do you guys do it, man? You got any advice for me for stepping up this hours count on air?
Yeah, get the energy boost shot.
Okay.
With the juice company. I guess we can't really mention.
Oh, right.
Brands,
the juice company that can give you a boost.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
With the ginseng.
Yeah, it gets just have ginseng quite a bit. Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering. So we're doing 2-hour shows. So that's 2 hours Monday to Friday. So that's 10 hours, right? If you had the choice, would you rather do 5 2-hour days or 1 10-hour day?
You're telling me just talk about the Raptors for 10 hours in one day?
If you could do a 10-hour show on Monday and just get rid of your responsibilities and be off the rest of the week.
This is something you should negotiate with our boss, DT. This is not a conversation to have with me.
I was actually having this convo with Faisal Kamisa off air today.
Oh, right.
And he said, yeah, I'll take the 5 days.
King of the 10-hour
yeah, he's the king of the North.
Week.
King of the North building here at the Rogers campus. What's going on, man? The vibes are like beyond immaculate.
Yes.
I don't know what's the word, after immaculate, but the Raptors 4 straight wins now at home.
Mm-hmm.
So
with fans in the building. Remember,
yes.
we were here like little clowns, like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, being like, "Wow, Raptors record with fans in the building is this and this," and
it's a daily show. We gotta read and react.
Yeah, we've had
like the Raptors
every
defense
side of every possible take.
Yeah, we gotta read and react like the Raptors defense, which is top 10 now. They've crept into the top 10. But yeah, so I was looking. So because the Pacers game had a fire evacuation, that doesn't count as a full capacity game. Okay? No.
They were up 28.
I know, just follow me. So them beating Boston on Monday and Minnesota yesterday, just the 4th time this season, the Raptors have won back-to-back games in a full capacity arena. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, look, listen, I mean, I think fans have really shown up for this team.
Yeah, so have you. Yeah,
I've shown up for this team, obviously.
The things I heard yesterday in that first quarter.
What?
Man.
No, things were calm yesterday. What are you talking about?
In the first quarter?
They were calm.
When they were down like 40-25 in the first half?
They were calm, man.
I've noticed it's always dark days at the beginning with you of Raptors games. And then when you go on the React Pod, you're all jolly and happy.
Well, I mean,
taking calls.
The Raptors really did go down 17. They were down 40-23. Then Scotty Barnes drives in for an and one. Then the Timberwolves player who gave up the and one slams the ball against the stanchion, gets a tech. And by the way, that's not a universal tech. That's a tech for players who are not like known players.
Right, a superstar. Like LeBron can boot the ball out of the arena.
Yeah.
And it would be a delay of game on the Raptors.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he gets a tech. It's a 4-point play. And then, the Raptors just really ran it up from there. I mean, they went up to 27. They went down 17 and went up 47. It's a 44-point swing.
Yeah, they hit 12 threes in the first quarter. I heard that McDonald's jingle in the arena. Right at halftime.
That's right.
After Fred hit that 3 at
Is
the
that
buzzer.
why you left at halftime with your coat on? Did you walk to the McDonald's on Adelaide?
Yeah, can someone in PR let me know? McDonald's PR.
Because you missed a substantial portion of the third quarter. You came back, you were like, oh, Raptors are up.
I watched every minute of basketball, including the Mavericks taking down the Cleveland Cavaliers yesterday. Resilient performance by Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavs. So the Raps are now up 2 on the Cavs to avoid the play-in with only 6 games to play. And they're tied with Chicago. So the Bulls play the Clippers at home tonight. The Cavs are in Atlanta. They're still without Evan Mobley. Try to be cautiously optimistic, but things are looking up for this Raptors team.
Things are looking up, and I think what we said like a week ago was when the Raptors are still in that 7th spot, still looking up at Cleveland, looking up at Chicago. My whole thing was the Raptors control their own destiny. They were in position, obviously, to play Cleveland. They got that win. That was a must-win. Indiana, they're always going to win. The only concern is whether that game was going to get called off because of the fire. So shout out to the fire crew for putting that out once again, and again shout out to Herbie for shushing the crowd. Just elite, like you ever been in like a you ever been in an you ever been in an assembly in like grade 6?
Sure.
And the principal or the teacher
25 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, back in the 1940s.
Yeah, it was in black and white. Yeah, they rolled out the VCR with the TV.
Oh, they didn't have VCRs. It was a blackboard at that time. It was
okay.
acetate for
right,
you.
Right.
Acetate in the projector.
Go Toronto Huskies.
Yeah. And the principal has to come out and shush everybody because everyone's yelling, care.
And that was Herbie.
Yeah. So real principal vibes there. They got that game done. The Boston game, obviously, look, the Celtics, they gave us an assist. Let's be real. They still made the Raptors work for it.
Oh, Evan Scott made the Raptors work for it. I know you're still fuming. It's okay.
It's all good, man. I love the officiating last night, by the way. It was a really good job. Like, because you know why? Because I didn't have to think about it one time.
Yeah,
That's how officiating should be.
There's
fouls
two,
are fouls and not fouls are not fouls.
There's two
That's
types. There's two types of.
It was great.
There's two types of home games. When I'm hanging out with you, I either walk out of the arena knowing everything about the 3 refs, or I know nothing at all.
Yeah.
So
salute Bill Kennedy though.
Yeah, shouts to Bill Kennedy. But yeah, whenever you need to vent, you got the Raptors Twitter spaces to go to.
What?
And then we get the PG-13 version here, right?
Come on.
Is that how it works?
Come on.
I'm calling you PG-13. By the way, Herbie's been calling Chris Bosh CB25. That's his nickname for Chris Boucher.
That's
not. Yeah, we'll get to this.
That's not a
the
nickname.
Raptors have a nickname problem, and we'll get to that in the second half. But
Right,
yes, let's talk about last night's game.
What a win.
So the 125-102 win. I think we got to start with Fred because, for the past couple games, I've had a photo of Chris Chiozza on my phone. I've been ready to post that on Twitter.
You've been calling this man Chris Chiozza to me in real life. Not into the microphone, although I have just exposed you.
No, but it's no disrespect. It's just
how is that not disrespect?
That's what Fred has looked like because he has played too many minutes carrying this team because he's done too much. But he defended all the allegations yesterday. And
what allegations?
I mean, look at the way he's running versus the way Pascal's running. This is clearly not Fred at 100%, but all praises to him because even on one leg, he just made winning play after winning play. I mean, people should go to Will Lou's Twitter account. He did a clip of Fred forcing 11 turnovers by himself last night. I don't know if Elias Sports Bureau has the stats, but that's got to be up there.
That's funny you mentioned the stats portion because when you look at the box score, it's already very impressive. 5 steals and a block. That doesn't tell you how many real turnovers he's forced because there were tons of plays where he was pressuring the ball, where he was drawing offensive fouls, and not offensive fouls the way Pat Beverly was flopping, right? The way Marcus Smart was flopping. Not like that. Actual, honest-to-goodness fouls where he's chasing a guy on the ball and they have to set a moving screen to get separation for the guy, and he falls over. That's just great defense. That's sacrificing your body. That's commitment to winning. And I think for me, when I was watching this game, and you and I were talking about it, and it was something that was very obvious to us. But when I went back and I was looking at my notes, I was like, I see more than 10 turnovers forced here. And sometimes I'm thinking look, maybe I'm just not seeing it as closely. We're at the 600 level, you're quite far from the thing. Basically, that's where the speaker caught fire. That's how far we are from the game, which is okay because I like that angle. You can see everything, right? But I went back and looked at the film during the 5-minute break of the reaction podcast yesterday.
Look at the work this guy puts in.
During the 5 minutes, I went to look through the film, and I clipped every single one, and it was he actually forced 11 turnovers.
It's incredible.
And it all came within a stretch of 5 minutes in the left in the first quarter to about midway through the third quarter. So it was a very condensed period of time. But Fred was forcing so many turnovers, and it's unbelievable the way he was playing defensively yesterday. I think him helping down in the post against Karl Anthony Towns is something that he's done really well. He's always the guy where when the Raptors have to play Embiid, when they have to play Jokic, when they have to play Cat, and these three are really in a class of their own offensively as centers, right? You're going to need to send doubles, and I think what he does so well is he's got those heavy hands, the way Nick Nurse likes to describe them, and he just likes to slap down as soon as the big puts one dribble on the floor or turns or anything like that. Anytime they expose the ball even barely, Fred's there. And I think Cat gave the Raptors lots of problems at the start of the game, right? A lot of breakdowns, him just driving in, dunking. But as the game went on, Cat had 8 points in the first quarter. Cat had 8 points the last 3 quarters of the game. And this is the same Karl Anthony Towns that had 60 last week. 60 points, and the Raptors held him to 8 for 3 quarters. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to Nick and the coaching staff. You got to give a lot of credit to Precious, who was the main defender on all those, right? But also the scheme was to send Fred to help. And Fred was shutting not only Karl Anthony Towns down, but he also forced like 5 or 6 turnovers against Anthony Edwards, who's a young player who got, I think, exposed a little bit on defense last night. The Raptors definitely got a lot of open threes against him, but also, even though he shot the ball really well, the Raptors turned the ball over from him quite a bit, and it was mostly due to Fred. So it's one of those performances, and I think I wrote in 10 things afterwards. A player forcing 11 turnovers in one game is a bigger deal to me than a player scoring 50 points. I see 50-point games all the time. They're very special. They're very cool to look at. It's very, very cool. But to force 11 turnovers is unheard of, really. And salute to Fred, man. He's just always there to give everything to the team.
Yeah, no, they should.
Fred VanVleet is Rice.
It's actually
okay.
Rice, yeah. Fred VanVleet is Rice, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out what the context of that was when we said that. But anyways.
Were we comparing them to food or something? Yeah, that's
it must
usually
have
what we
been.
do on this draft. We
Yeah,
compare them to
it-
kitchen items.
Yeah, it was the dog days of the regular season, you know?
Yeah, it was tough.
But we're past that. Oh, it was January 31st, so it was right in the heat of the season. Never mind. Thank you, producer Derek Brandale. But yeah, I think, with Fred, not struggling, but not being able to carry the offense maybe as much as he did early in the season, I think the effort last night really showed what you're going to want to see from the Raptors in the playoffs. And that's just contributions across the board from all of the starters and, the bench unit. And I think there's just like a relentlessness to the Raptors right now in terms of like when you're trailing by 15 or when you're up by 10, you're able to push that lead ahead. Like the Raptors are just flying at you on defense. And when they're hitting threes at this clip, like we shouldn't expect them to do that every game. But like, I mean, it wasn't like OG Anunoby who went 4 for 4 from 3 and Gary Trent Jr. 6 of 8 from 3, 29 points, cheesing on every time he rose up for the jumper.
Okay, so this is your favorite thing about Gary.
Yes.
And
I think you pointed it out to me originally during warm-ups when we were watching him in warm-ups.
Because you and I love watching warm-ups. You and I have now staked out a new spot in the arena.
Yeah, warm-up report coming. It's coming.
Oh, it's coming? Okay,
coming.
sorry. I didn't even look at the rundown.
Yeah,
I know
please.
on every Thursday you got us. All right.
I got you every day for the rest of the season now. So
Again, you sound thrilled. But we got this new
Send
spot,
help.
and we're watching the warm-ups, and we're watching Gary, who usually comes out with Pascal.
Yep.
And we're just like, this guy, he cheeses every single time he shoots.
I think he's like grunting. Like technically,
why is he grunting when he's shooting?
He's just like putting his legs and like his arms like into it. Like I think it's a grunt. I don't think he's actually smiling. It just looks like a smile.
Okay.
But we don't need to be technical about it.
All right. How about you look into your camera and show what Gary looks like when he shoots? No, the teeth are out too.
No, yeah, the teeth are out.
Yeah.
Why are you making me big faces, man? My mom's watching. I have a family.
No, your mom's really enjoying fries, courtesy of the Raptors, just in the first half alone. So I think she's cool with with her son showing her.
But I think just think it's
teeth.
hilarious when Gary's roasting you and you have to watch him cheese.
Yeah, no, you close out on this guy, and he's really just like, yeah, I'm scoring on you every time.
But back to the point I was making, I think that's what you're gonna need really in the playoffs on the offensive end. You're gonna need. I think Gary's gonna be a very important player, and I mean OG has played amazing since he came back.
Yeah, he shot the ball beautifully. I still think he can get better defensively. Okay. I think part of that it just comes with the conditioning and sort of guys coming back. We obviously know how good OG can be defensively, so obviously my standards are extremely high with him defensively. But offensively, I don't think you can ask for more of him in this role, which I think since coming back, he hasn't tried to impose himself as much. There's maybe like 1 or 2 possessions where OG tries to like create something. Usually I don't even mind because he's in single coverage and other guys might, not necessarily have it in that possession or whatever. And he tries to attack, but for the most part, he's catching and shooting. He's getting on transition. He's making the right cuts, and he's playing a really good team game. And this is something that you have to appreciate with OG. He has ambitions to be a bigger part of everything and to initiate and sort of make that next step, which is the hardest one. But at the same time, you always know that he can step back and be a really, really premium 3-and-D player for you. And I'm not talking 3-and-D like just that's some sort of disparaging thing. Every single team in the NBA needs defense and 3-point shooting, especially in the Raptors. And OG plays that role better than anyone else on the team. He's super efficient. It's been incredible watching him shoot, quite honestly. Sometimes you forget that he has the broken thing in his finger or whatever. On his shooting hand. And he's shooting like 50% from 3 since coming back. So salute to OG. 9 of 13 yesterday from the field, 22 points plus 29. Gary Trent Jr., 29 points, 9 of 13 from the field. Also, 6 of 8 from 3 from him, 5 of 5 on the free throw line. And you know what? You need those guys to step up because I think that shows the quality and the depth of this Raptors team is that the way Minnesota played yesterday, they were like, we're going to send double teams to Pascal every single time. We're going to load up on Pascal. We're going to load up on Fred. They're like, Fred's got a bad knee, doesn't matter. We're going to trap him at the top of the floor. And I think at the start of the game, offensively, they weren't really flowing as well. They got blocked a ton. I think Chris got blocked 4 times in the first quarter. What happened, man?
I don't know. He's your friend. Text him.
You're right. I should text my boy.
Hustle Play podcast out now, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, we can talk second. We'll talk second. But like, the offense wasn't running well, and the Raptors only had 20 points in the first quarter. And this was despite the fact that the Raptors forced 10 turnovers just in the first quarter alone. Like Minnesota, some of that's really good defense from the Raptors, no doubt. Some of that's also just Minnesota's really sloppy. You can see them being young, making all these mistakes, and even after forcing 10 turnovers, the Raptors are still down 10 points in the first quarter. So it was sort of a situation where once those guys sort of adapted to the flow of the game, okay, so they're going to trap us. We're going to become playmakers. We're really going to try to load, set up our guys, and find open corner threes, which is something that the Timberwolves are weak at guarding. They give those up quite a bit considering how much they trap in the middle of the floor. Again, very similar to the Raptors. Let's be real. Raptors execute their scheme better, but whatever. You can expect that. They're more experienced.
What Chris Finch just stole all the game plans in Tampa and just went to Minnesota with it? Is that what he's doing?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copycat league,
Yeah, it is. Good for them, man. But in any case, though, they really adapted, and Fred had, 8 assists? Pascal had 13 assists. That was the key. Just getting it out of their hands, getting it into the corners, and, Gary and OG couldn't miss yesterday. And neither could Precious, by the way, man. Can we just talk about how good Precious is shooting?
The above-the-break threes are just, they're happening with regularity now.
He's looking for them.
Oh, yeah, he's so aggressive on offense now. I almost want him to shoot more.
Yeah.
Felt like he passed up on a few attempts. Like, if you're open, just shoot it.
Yo, someone I forget who, one of the reporters post-game was talking to Gary. Gary's at the podium. And someone asked Gary, is Precious as confident as you on offense? And Gary was like, what? But also at the same time, I'm like, you know what? That's not even an unfair question or out of, unreasonable whatsoever, because that's how much Precious is looking for the shot right now. And it's great because I think the example that really stands out to me was, so Precious knocked down 3 threes last night. All of them were in the first 8 minutes when he first came out the bench. To be honest, I wasn't really sure what Nick was doing with the rotations there.
Well, he had Kem Birch in first, right?
Yeah, so he took Scotty out early, 7-minute mark. Then he put Kem in for 5 minutes. Then 2 minutes left in the first quarter. That's when Precious finally checked in, which is odd. Precious will usually check in around 7 minutes.
Or Nick is obsessed with bringing Precious and Chris in together.
I mean, it works.
No matter
though.
what. No, it's working great.
But, Precious in that first shift knocked down 3 threes. And that third 3 that he knocked down, it was a 2-on-2 fast break. And I thought for sure Pascal and Precious would try to go to the rim. I mean, like 2 guys who can both finish at the basket, both very athletic, both very long. And instead of that, Precious ran to the 3-point line like he was Clay. You know those classic Warrior fast breaks?
Yeah.
Where instead of running,
they just pull back and then shoot
they just
the 3.
Run to the 3 or run to the corner or whatever.
He's earned it though. He's really earned it, and the shots are going in.
Yeah. So
fate of the Raptors season on the line. I'll go with Precious Achiuwa. Check back with me when it's Game 7 against Miami in the second round.
You have made a lot of good predictions this season. Can we just talk about that as well?
We're taking a victory lap?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, people know. I just say stuff just to say stuff. This is what I do. And when you say enough,
I'm the lethal weapon. I do not finish second.
What kind of victory lap is this?
I'm just being honest.
Okay, fine. I'll do it for you.
Okay.
You said
yes.
Back in October, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
The Raptors are making the playoffs, and they're going to play the Heat in the 4-5 series.
Yes, I also said they would win 46 games.
Which is totally possible right now, by the way. You also called the Raptors winning 46 games.
But my reasons were Nick Nurse hasn't had a losing season since 1997 in Birmingham, outside of Tampa.
Yeah.
There was no rationale.
No, that's really Drake's
no, but I think
new hit, man. 1997 in Birmingham.
I couldn't have known. I mean, I probably said that in October because I saw a couple of reverse layups from Svi in preseason, and I was really feeling the vibes. I couldn't have known that Scotty was going to be this kind of player, right?
Yeah.
I think everything else that we predicted, everything else that's happened has really gone the Raptors' way. You're talking about Pascal having this bounce back season.
Yep.
Talking about OG, how he's been when he's been healthy. I mean, Gary's been a revelation, I think. Fred clearly an all-star. And now you tacking on the way that Chris Boucher is playing.
Mm-hmm. Found his role.
The way Precious has improved.
Yep.
Thaddeus Young, which we're going to devote a whole segment to in the second segment.
He deserves it.
the dunk of the century last night. And
Just
I mean,
the perfect like little dessert at the end of that meal. You know, you have a great meal,
that's right.
and at the very end, they're like, "Boom, here you go."
And then you have another entree.
What's your
after
favorite
that.
dessert, by the way? This is not a DoorDash ad,
Like,
although it could
like,
be, I guess.
like a lemon meringue pie,
Lemon meringue
Yeah.
pie. Wow.
or anything like red bean or green tea, just
Yeah.
to keep my Asian
You're
points.
keeping it real cultural.
Asian
Okay.
Asian Heritage Month coming soon. Never want to turn on those listeners.
What do you mean
know?
coming soon? Man?
Yeah,
all
it's-
the time. With
Yes,
us.
but I was gonna ask you too because you talk about Precious, and I mean Scotty was benched. I mean that might be too strong of a word. Like Nick made a lineup adjustment to start the second half and started with Precious instead of Scotty. I mean Scotty on a night where you could probably say he had a bad game, still finished with 17, 5, and 4, 1 steal and 1 block.
Yeah.
So there's your rookie of the year. But like, I was thinking like, because people have been talking about the Fred, Gary, Scotty, OG, Pascal lineup, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the best 5 guys. And now they play like 315 minutes. They're minus 17 in that sample size, but the team is 14-6 in those 20 games that they've started.
Yeah.
No, but this is what I'm trying to figure out because you look at the slow start last night. Part of that was that 5-man lineup, right? So like,
Yeah.
what do we make of those 5 guys? Like, is there any concern there or not really?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think if they lose games with that group, then maybe. But I trust that group to close out. They're better in the second half than they are in the first half. They do get off to slow starts. Don't get me wrong. I think it happened here. It happened against Boston. Last night's game in particular, going against Karl Anthony Towns, he's such an offensive threat that you really do need to make some concessions. I know for Nick, he likes to play this style and doesn't, traditional centers and all that stuff. The Raptors don't even have a traditional center anyway, but like, you need to, what ultimately is the situation is you need to get your best defender out there against them. And your best defender against your bigs is Precious Achiuwa. He has been so good. Like, just think back to last week or the week before against Philly.
Oh, you love this. Yeah, the James Harden.
James
and
Harden,
and
Joel Embiid. What did Embiid shoot? Like 6 or 17 or something
And
like
bring
that?
me the Sixers in the first round, man.
Don't bring me the Sixers, man.
Bring me Doc Rivers.
Bring me Doc
and
Rivers.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah,
Make sure they're vaccinated.
Give me the Lob City Clippers.
Yeah, please.
No, like, Precious is the guy to do that. So I think Nick acknowledged that early on, made the early subs. He didn't play Scotty much in the first half. Quite honestly, Scotty wasn't imposing himself that much either. And there are a couple of situations where Cat would just turn around, drive, and then Scotty wouldn't press up into him, slow down his momentum. And then, once Cat gets 1 or 2 feet inside the three-point line with the head of steam, it's over for you. He's going to dunk on you, right? Like, the Raptors don't have that, like, tremendous shot blocker at the basket that's going to stop them. What they need to do is, like, stop the momentum, period. And so they got Precious in there. He did a way better job of doing that. And I thought Nick was very smart because that game was tight. It was like the Raptors were only up 2 heading into halftime, 62-60. And he came out with the right group to start the third quarter. It wasn't really benching Scotty. It was mostly just like, what do we need to do to win this game? Like, I mean, egos and all this other stuff, I don't really think it really matters. The ultimate goal is just to win the game. And Precious was clearly the best matchup there, and the Raptors won the third quarter 35-22. They were able to get up comfortably and then blow it out. But, yeah, and I think it was very interesting hearing Nick talk about it because obviously he was asked about it. And he also said that Scotty kind of advised him to do it. I think that speaks to his unselfishness in that sense for Scotty, who, by the way, last season, his only year that he played college at Florida State, he came off the bench. He was the starter at the start of the year. Then he had a little bit of an injury. And him and the coaching staff decided, well, we want you to be warm when you come in. So they kind of had him like coming off the bench because then you can kind of warm up or whatever and really get going off the bench. And he accepted that role. He embraced the role. He was the best player on the team, but he was also coming off the bench. And I think that's one of the other things with Scotty is just that he's really unselfish. He doesn't care about that. You see how much like happiness he has for other people's success, right? You see the way he was celebrating Pascal after that Celtics game. I mean, he's celebrated Pascal all season, right? I think that's really cool for a young guy to do that. He's not as concerned. And then I also thought it was cool that once he checked back into the game, especially in the second half, he was really able to impose himself, get to the rim. I think, honestly, him playing downhill against the Timberwolves second unit was also really helpful. He got in a situation where, he got a steal, he got a dunk, got it into the lane for a mid-range pull-up. He made that. I thought he had made another move, which was really good at the end of the shot clock, put up a little floater. It was a little hard on the floater, but the setup to get to that shot was really nice. Got 2 putbacks in that stretch as well. So he was doing a really good job overall. And I think, yeah, as you mentioned, it's it's, I mean, he had 17, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 of 9 shooting from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, a steal, an assist, a block. Like,
That's a bad game too.
how's that a bad game?
No, but you know what I mean though.
That's a bad game for Scotty. That's how high the standards are these days. It's unbelievable.
No, I love you pointing that stuff out, especially him advising Nick for that. I think he's proven himself to be really selfless both on and off the court. You see the way that he plays on the court, and he's responded well this season. Remember that one time when he did that behind the back pass, or he did some kind of pass early in the game against the Celtics, like 2 minutes in, and then Nick had to bench him, and then he came back and responded.
It wasn't even shown on the broadcast, but we were there in person, so we saw it. It was like he was trying to quick inbound the ball, and he threw a behind the back inbounds pass looking the wrong way.
Right.
And it went straight to an opponent.
This was a no-look inbounds pass. A minute into the game.
To be fair, he did block the shot.
No, there's no to be fair.
Okay, there is no.
It was a no-look behind.
You're right. Yeah.
That's like if you skipped a React pod. Like there's no to be fair. Like there's no excuses.
You're right.
You got to show up to work every day like me. But yeah, so I just think like he's responded well. And then like it's interesting too because this is what Nick's going to do in the playoffs. Like we saw him do this during the finals run. Remember he would bench Danny Green in the second half of games and start with Fred in the Warriors series. And I think we're going to see all these types of kind of mixing and matching and adjustments in game. Yeah. And like you were saying yesterday, we saw Nick Nurse on the Jumbotron during the intro.
Oh, he was focused.
How many coaches in the East are going to show on that? It's going to get you hyped, right? Like there is an advantage there. Like for all the jokes about bringing Doc Rivers here, like Doc Rivers is going to spend the whole series being like, I don't know if I should stagger Joel Embiid and James Harden so one of them's on the court at all times. Maybe I'll just wait till the end of the series to reevaluate.
Yeah.
I want the Sixers.
Okay. All right. You want the Sixers. That's fine.
This is going to get clipped.
It's possible now because the Raptors are moving up the standings. It's beautiful.
Yeah. But anyways, we have an arena report too, but you can pick whether we do it now or after the
Let's do it now, man. We got some momentum.
All right. So the Raptors are 2-0 when you've dapped Utah Watanabe before the game. But what did Utah do to Minnesota? Because got dunked on again last night.
That's
Did he
fine.
leave a 1-star Yelp review at a ramen spot in Minnesota? That's my working theory.
Minnesota seems actually pretty cool. I kind of want to go to Minnesota one day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's go, yeah.
But in any case, you sound thrilled. You don't sound that excited about Minnesota. That's cool, man. I just feel like a lot of cool people come from Minnesota. But in any case, yeah, in this case, what are you to do? I mean, it's what Fred told him, man. He was a step late to challenge the shot.
I don't want Utah to lose the work ethic, but man, I don't want to see that in garbage time, you know?
There's no garbage time, bro.
Right. There's no garbage time in this league. But yes, Utah went out of his way. You know, we were sitting courtside before the game, taking in the warm-ups.
First time when I
can't believe you're clarifying
at the arena.
You screamed at him like a fanboy.
I was like, "Yo, Utah, what's up, man?" He's like, "Oh, hey," and they came over and dapped. Yeah. This time, didn't even have to say that. He came over and dapped us. Yeah, so it's different, man.
And I told him we're stalking him, and he gave a nervous laugh. He's like, do we have to do an interview right now?
He's like, if I see you guys, it's cool if I see you guys here, but if I see you guys in Tokyo.
Oh my God. See, that's a trip I could get excited for.
Oh, okay.
Shouts to the Raptor too. Had a chance to catch up with the Raptor.
That's right.
But those are private conversations we can all share.
Of course.
He did like to clear up he's a fan of all food service apps. Okay?
Yes, that's right.
All food service apps. Right. But I'm bearing the lead here. Chris Boucher came out for warm-ups. Took a look at me. Said, that's not Will. Took a look at you. Said, yep, that's him. And said,
he's like, that head's not big enough. He's wearing a hat.
He said, what up, Lou? Before he went to warm-ups.
That's right, man.
My boy William. Listen.
So,
we finally.
What up, Lou?
Listen, we chopped it up. The beef is over.
Yes, go check out the Hustle Play podcast. It's on the Yahoo Sports Canada YouTube as well. So, Will and Chris had their conversation. We're hopefully we'll have Chris on our show next week. And once we get that scheduled, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the interview that you two did.
Absolutely.
You know, do a segment, do a little, behind the scenes, DVD
we already
commentary.
Did the behind the scenes.
Oh, man, we're going to...
There was more behind the scenes?
Oh, there's the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes, yeah. No, just want to get your, DVD commentary type, like thoughts on how you did. Maybe we'll grade your responses.
Okay, well, we can really break it down. Yeah.
But it's a great conversation.
I thought, I listened back to it because I honestly, after I record, I just forget everything I said.
Yeah.
So I wanted to listen back on it, see how I did. Obviously, it was a bit of a nervous moment, right? Because I wanted to represent myself well in that situation, and I thought I did. And it was cool. Now me and Chris are cool, man. It's my guy. He said, "What up, Lou?"
Gambu buddies.
Yeah. He's my Gambu now, for real.
That's all it takes. It's just a what up, Lou.
Well, like I said, there's the what up back.
Right.
On this,
That's
on
a
the
Zach
low
Lowe,
post.
Howard Beck. Yeah.
Howard Beck. Which, by the way, are we bringing Howard Beck to
Yes,
press in
yes.
as
The
well?
request is in. We put requests into Howard Beck, Chris Herring, a few other people.
Can't wait.
I'm
to
going
talk
to be
Chris
here
Herring. I love
campaigning.
Chris Herring, man.
Listen, man, we've lost a couple swing states, but
Who?
since I'm here,
Bontemps?
yeah. Did you really get Dan? I mean, it was a good conversation with Dan, but you didn't really lock
No,
because he was still deciding.
He was
right?
totally deciding, and that's
Yeah,
where I
shout out to
was
Dan
like,
about
I was
it.
trying to like put the seed
No,
in his
but you
mind.
need me to press a little.
Because now he knows, right? Because then I
Yes.
told him game for game what happened in that West Coast road trip. Scotty being a
Right.
huge part of all those wins.
You gave a 9-minute monologue. I should have texted Dan to be like, "Hey, you can go to the bodega right now."
I my bad to Dan. I didn't really let him speak. I was really pressing the agenda hard.
We booked
man.
Dan for 25 minutes, but only needed him for 6.
Yeah, it's kind of honestly like one of those presidential debates where they don't actually respond to each other. They just like get
Yeah.
their messaging out.
Well, this will be perfect.
It's not like human interaction. It's more like staged.
I'm gonna sit in on some of these, and in any political campaign, you need somebody to spew lies. So I'll be here for that.
Oh, I thought that was what I was here for.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I was kidding,
Yeah,
man.
I
It's
got
only
you.
truth at what I told him. And that's all. Look, all you have to do is consider the truth
Yeah.
and then vote truthfully.
Yeah. By the way, quick arena food report before we take the break. Finally found Alouette this week. Shouts to Vivek and also Andrea on Twitter, who sent me a map of inside Scotiabank Arena. I was finally able to locate this place. And shout outs to Cheryl
Yo,
and
you and I
Heidi
gotta go
too.
to- you
Ran
got-
into them yesterday at Alouette. They were like, "Hey, are you Alex?" I'm like, "Yes."
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've tried the fried chicken sandwich
Yeah.
and the shrimp roll there. They're both $18. Just want to point that out to the civilians. I mean, we use the vouchers. It's a little pricey.
We're the civilians. We use the vouchers. What do you mean?
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyways, the fried chicken sandwich official rating 8 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Chick-fil-A better in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Shrimp roll 7.2 out of 10. So we'll
Okay,
try a
you know
couple.
what?
We'll
The
try a
issue
couple
is
more places.
We got to go to the real Alouette,
Okay, let's do that
not
too.
in the arena.
And then go to Minnesota and then go to Japan.
Yeah,
to
we got
track
a
down
lot to
Utah.
do, man. We got a lot to do. Shout
Yeah.
out to Zoe.
Yeah, shouts to Zoe as well.
Yeah, I thought you would wear the pin. but-
Yeah, we can't talk about that. So
oh, okay.
you ran a will lose stand count. So I was thinking, you know how like during games there's like win probability charts, right?
Yeah.
Like when the Raptors had the ball up 3 against the Lakers with 11 seconds left.
Why are you bringing this up, man?
His fists are clenching.
Ah.
He's clenching his fist like Arthur in the studio right now. The probability was like 99%. I was trying to think of stand probability at the arena.
What does
So
that
when
mean?
you're in the concourse, will lose stand probability, and you make eye contact with an Asian person, I'm thinking the will lose stand probability is at like 93%.
All right, first off, the fan base is international. Okay?
Yes, it is, but
Come on, man.
yeah, sorry.
You're making it sound like
Trying to be
my
more
fan
inclusive.
base is like, I don't know, the population that goes to Asian court or whatever.
Yeah, stick to your demo. But like, yeah, so you ran into 3 last night, 3 will lose stands.
Officially, yeah.
Yeah, so we have this will lose stand versus Armani Brooks 3 mini competition running game that
That's
we
not
have.
fair. Armani wasn't in the rotation today.
It's not fair because you have too many stands. It's not because
That- I
Armani's
mean,
not in the
that-
rotation.
that too,
How
yeah.
is he supposed
It
to
was
keep
great.
up with 3 or 4 stands a game?
It was great. I really enjoyed
Anyways,
taking
if
photos.
you ever see us at the arena, just don't even say hi to me. Pass me the phone.
Yeah, don't
let
be
me take the
yeah,
photos.
Yeah,
Just pass me the phone.
nobody wants a photo with
But
you.
anyways, we'll try to get more food. That's why I'm there to take the photos. You showed me a photo of Kawhi and Jeremy Castleberry during the game last night. You're like, yo, this is us everywhere.
No, because wherever I'm going, somehow you're there. Like when I went to talk to
I'm
Chris
I'm
on his
doing my
podcast, you
job.
were there.
I was there to protect you. Wouldn't you have felt
From
a little?
what?
Wouldn't you have felt a little uncomfortable if you were there by yourself?
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming. man.
Remember you didn't have your N95 mask going into Hull Renfrew, and I had to ship you one.
That's right. You're
So-
right. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. I love the show because we tell a lot of inside jokes for a very national audience, and we're just gonna hope that everyone's gonna understand what we're saying. But we're gonna take a break right here. I've been your host, Walu. You have been listening to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Walu. I continue to be joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. Alex, what do we have for the second segment?
Yeah, so I was reading this article yesterday from front of the program, ESPN's Tim Bontemps. So he's asked,
I mean,
what?
Fred? Well, I'm just saying, I liked him. You liked him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim for obviously making time. Very generous. But the Raptor fan base, as expected, was not receiving Tim that friendly.
Well, I'm shocked. Color me shocked.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's asked teams in the Eastern Conference this week, basically inquiring about their vaccination status, because as the playoffs approach, we know that unvaccinated players are still not allowed to play here in Toronto. And, you know, the Celtics and the 76ers were the two teams that really declined to confirm that their teams are fully vaccinated. So there is a potential they would miss road games as of now in a possible first-round series with Toronto. We saw the injury report with the Boston Celtics earlier this week.
Philly's coming next week.
Philly's coming next week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So hopefully Doc Rivers and DeAndre Jordan are here.
Oh,
Those are the key.
I didn't realize this was a slander pod for the Sixers.
No, but this is
Maybe I'll call you next time. No, Assad, you're bumped, man. We got another account coming on.
yeah, no, Assad's really busy right now. It is actually busy season.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what? Do you know what busy season is? I'm sure Assad has told you, or no?
Just from podcasting with him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, quick. It's just you.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just you
go
work.
ahead, Ernst and Young, Alex.
It's just you work 70 hours a week. That's it.
That's me.
I know you do
that's
that
me
too.
during the regular. That's the whole season. That's called
me,
the regular
That's me
season.
starting next week. 70 hours a week. Let's get it.
Yeah,
we
divide
already
that by 7.
We already mentioned this, the Chris Boucher, Will Liu podcast.
Yeah.
So everybody check that out.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Never
gonna say,
seen something that even Marvel movies haven't been promoted to this length.
Well,
so it's incredible.
I just think that, like, you know, it's just rare. You just don't see a lot of interactions like this between media and players, and I think there's a reason for that too. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that there's like been some incendiary comments that sort of lead us to this situation, but no, I think that's why it was really cool to like be able to sit down and talk about it. And I think for me, it was just, I took it as like a big career learning moment. Like, you know, what is the responsibility of reporters and sort of how, you know, people report on the players, you know, how players receive that. And, you know, obviously that doesn't mean you can't be critical of a guy just because, you know, whatever. I think the job is to, you know, reflect on the performance and everything like that. But at the same time, there's other things that go into it, right? It's not that simple. It's not just like you could be a jerk just because, you know, you're reporting on the game or anything like that. So, no, it was really cool. I thought it was great for Chris and also Mike to have us on. And, you know, it was cool to meet up with old Yahoo employees. And the conversation was well done. So we're going to have the second part of that. Right, producer. When are we going to have Mr. Boucher on our show?
Yeah, we're hoping for early next week. So
early next week.
Yeah, we're talking right now. So
all right,
we'll figure that out.
We do have their contact now. I mean, we do know each other.
Yeah, no. I've got my phone here just in case anything happens.
Mhm.
You know, anything breaking. Chris, if you're listening, if you want to call in right now.
No, man, not
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, he's
We
flying to
only have,
Orlando.
We
No,
have
he's
like
not
12
flying.
minutes left
Okay,
in the segment.
that's right.
Yeah. Also, you know, salute to the 514. You know, I've been in the 514. Shout out to Mick Jenkins, but also most importantly, shout out to the city of Montreal. I definitely love that city so much.
You love Montreal. You
I
should
go
be
there
the
all the time. I definitely don't want to be with one of the most prominent Montrealers, man. Come
Do you
on.
want to be the ambassador? Like, what's going on?
No, I think Chris has got that on lock. It's all good.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, cool.
But yeah, man.
Let's see what else is here.
Maybe I'll catch up with Chris in Montreal one time.
Okay, so we're going to Montreal, Minnesota.
No.
And
Come on, man.
Japan.
Come on. I have somebody's number at this point.
People are saying you're going to go to ramen with Chris Boucher before you go with Utah. Potential developments there, but to be determined.
We actually had some interesting talks about this in our inbox this morning, but we'll get to those when they're actually
Yeah,
like,
more
tangible.
ramen updates. Just when you thought the storyline was done, it has been resurrected just in time for the 2-hour shows. Fist pump. Daily Ramen Minute is what our producer, Derek Mandeo, Daily Ramen 5 minutes is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
see what else. Yeah,
Go
what
check
is
out the interview. First half on Yahoo was already out. You know, going back to the Sixers and the Celtics. I mean, look, listen. I know there was like some conversation where Sam Amico, who was not to be confused with Sam Amick. Sam Amick, very, very reputed NBA reporter, but Sam Amico was tweeting out. It was like, well, I guess this should mean that the Raptors should have to play in the States for the playoffs. Like, let's move them to Buffalo or Tampa or something.
No, he specifically
and the
said.
way he got dunked on, my goodness,
Wait, hold on.
man.
No, those are sometimes those dunks on Twitter is too easy. Where you know it's like a layup line. You got to pass on it. But like he basically said, make the Raptors ineligible for the playoffs.
They're like, hey.
The best response actually went to former global ambassador of the show, James Herbert. James retweeted and it was like, why don't we just play the entire playoffs on a cruise ship where there are no like international borders?
What is
and
this,
rules?
man? The Rio 2016 Olympics when they were like, we can't go to the games because of
And
Zika.
Mickey
We're going to stay on a boat.
Because the Miami Heat owner runs a cruise line, right? So he's like, yeah, let's do that.
Anyway,
But,
I just thought it was a very self-centered comment from an American
of course, but
because the world does not revolve around America.
We've
And
heard
second
this-
of all, it's Canadian players cannot be going to crossing the border to the States unless they're vaccinated.
yes, it's
either.
not like we don't
Without
have
quarantine.
the rules.
There,
Yeah.
Look, there is the rules. You can come and
Yeah.
play the series. You're just going to stay in the hotel room for 14 days.
This is the same thing that happened in baseball recently because there was a lot of talk about the Yankees and Red Sox not being able to come to Toronto to play the games. And Mark Shapiro of the
Oh my
Blue
God,
Jays.
what's the solution here? Do
No.
they maybe have to like take a painless shot and,
No,
and then
no,
they'll
and-
do it? Like, come on, man.
And there were American media members who suggested the same thing, that this is an unfair competitive advantage for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Blue Jays.
You know what's an
Let's get
unfair
these tickets
competitive
for opening
advantage?
day.
Having to play in the AL East, man. I'm sick of this. All right?
Oh, you've never heard Will Liu talk to his landlord
I'm sick.
about the Blue Jays. Oh,
I'm sick of the AL East.
the things
man.
the things I've heard him say about baseball.
No, they can
he
take a
knows
vaccine. We
baseball.
can't get out the AL East.
No, but Mark Shapiro of the Blue Jays came out and said, like, this is ridiculous because he said we literally couldn't look at certain free agents or make trades because of their vaccination status.
Yes, yeah.
Like
Same
he-
for the Raptors.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, anyways, I think we're stating the obvious to a lot of people that are listening, but you know, the American media has their own perspective,
Yeah.
and
You
it's
have-
wrong.
You have the freedom of choice in this situation, but you also are not free from any consequences of choices. This is how life
Yeah,
works.
yeah, that's a bar.
So anyway, Justin Trudeau, first team all defense.
What? Anyways, speaking
I
of
mean, he's locking down Kyrie at least.
Speaking of awards, Fred VanVleet is one of the 12 finalists for the Twyman
right.
Stokes Teammate of the Year. So good luck to Fred on that. Want to put you on the spot. You know, we've got,
Go ahead.
I'm here as a co-host and producer for you. We've got Jennifer Rolnick behind the scenes with the YouTube,
Mhm.
Derek Brandeo on the boards producing for us.
Yeah.
Who's your Teammate of the Year on the Raptors show?
Our boss DT
Oh, okay.
definitely made all this possible.
Okay, teacher's pet move
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
right, man.
Oh,
That's my
man.
guy. We're gonna chat it up with him after the show.
Oh,
today.
you pulled that out of the bag. Oh man, I was trying to put you on the spot.
What you thought? What you
I was
thought
trying
this
to,
was, man? This
I was
is
trying
too
to
easy
create
for
some
me.
dissension here.
My boss.
By the way, shouts to the YouTube stream. I was in there last couple of days, you know, enjoying my final few off-air days, chatting.
In the LuTube stream?
Yes, that is right. We are calling it the LuTube stream. Sounds kind of weird saying it,
Yeah,
but
it's a little tough.
we'll work on it. Shouts to whoever came up with that yesterday. But
Mm.
speaking of nicknames, so Thad Young with the dunk of the century last night.
Yeah.
Turned into Young Thad. And, you know, he's had two really encouraging performances, I think, against Boston and Minnesota,
Mhm.
especially coming up key in crunch time against the Celtics when Scotty Barnes had to sit. And, you know, I know this is an obvious thing we've kept saying is like Thad can't really lift up like second unit guys, but if you slot him in with the starters, he can fit really well. And that I think that's what we're seeing. Like he's just playing better because he's playing with better guys on the floor and he's trending up as the Raptors are getting healthy. After the game, Nick Nurse said that teammates were calling him Thad Younglegs because of the dunk. And we just, listen, we need to
Bro,
talk about this.
These nicknames are tough.
We have a
man.
nickname problem.
When was the last time a player in the Raptors had a really good nickname? And I'm not talking about the Claw, by the way. Claw, is I feel like that was already given to him before he came to the
He
Raptors. Like,
clawed his way out of Toronto after winning the championship.
during his time with the Raptors,
Yeah.
which player has received a really great nickname?
I mean, none because like Kyle was like what, Chloe? Like
no one called him
Halo.
Chloe. Hold on, his nickname wasn't Chloe.
We calling him Chloe Kardashian.
No, it was Kalo, man. Come on.
Did I pronounce
DeMar.
his name right?
No, you didn't. You did not. That's great drop, by the way.
Derek, we're banning that drop.
No,
No,
we're
use
not.
it more. I love that one in the Pascal and one. No, but you're right. We have a nickname
Spicy
crisis.
P, it's not even good. I mean,
Spicy P and Steady
he doesn't
Freddy.
even like spicy food.
The only good nickname this year, shouts to Ennis Esmer, Spice and Dice.
Yeah.
Spice and
No, you're right,
Dice
you're right.
was great, but like Sfigi was terrible. I seen
No,
some of
Sfigi
you
was a
riding with
really-
Sfigi.
I've never seen a guy. I've seen people not live up to their name. I've never seen guys not live up to their nickname. But he did not live up to the nickname, which was tough.
No, but Sfigi was bad.
Sfigi was a good nickname.
I was
liked
looking,
it.
you know, as you were clipping Fred VanVleet clips last
Yeah.
night, you know, I was opening up 18 pages on Basketball Reference, basically every Raptors player, because Basketball Reference has a really good player profile page where they'll list some of the nicknames, right?
Right, yeah.
There was none. Like Chris Boucher is Swatter Boy. not bad actually.
No one says that.
one-
Nobody says
Yeah.
Swatter Bowl.
I would call Chris Boucher Maple Rodman. You know, I think we could push that a little bit. Utah is the chosen one
yeah.
by Nas Reed.
No, that's. I was just gonna say
Shouts to Utah.
the chosen one by the Timberwolves.
No, shouts to Utah. Please keep dapping us.
Yeah.
But that's about it, though. And I was on Thad Young's page. So his first nickname is just Thad on the
not a
basketball.
nickname.
No. And the second one's even better. It's Thagic Johnson.
Okay, I heard of that one. That was with the Bulls. Yeah, yeah.
They called him Thagic Johnson.
I mean, listen,
Other
Bulls
fan
really
bases
were-
do better propaganda than us.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
that
we
is
already have our
ridiculous.
own Magic Johnson, so that's taken.
Yeah. So, I mean, specifically with Thad Young, I know like people have been trying to push the Dad Young thing because he's the only guy over 30 on the team.
He's also like parenting the younger players and like, giving
Right.
them advice and stuff like
But
that. Yeah.
did I not hear wrong? I think you shared this either privately or public with me. Like we ran into Thad Young at the Chris Boucher interview.
yeah.
Didn't you run the nickname by him?
Yeah, so Thad was the first guest when Chris recorded the podcast on last Friday. And so after the show, there was like, people were changing over mics and all this stuff. There was like a 5-minute period. And, I went over to chat with Thad and I was like, hey, first off, like, thanks for coming on the show that week. And, you came in immediately like, so were you really in the cold tub for 2 hours? And he's like, yes, I was actually.
I'm a journalist, you got to ask the hard questions.
Okay, all right. You sounded
That's the hard
personally
questions.
aggrieved. But I was like, hey, hit that, by the way, how's everything doing? Just like the regular pleasantries and everything like that. Just, he was really excited to talk ball and he was really excited about that Cavs win. And he was like, we just got to take all these games here. And they did. But I also asked him, I was like, yo, Thad, they're starting to call you Dad Young, right? He's like, why? I was like, because you keep talking about like the leadership you're bringing to the young guys. And he's like, nah, come on, man. That makes me sound so old.
So, yeah. So if
he doesn't like Dad Young.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not like firmly against it, but I don't
he
think
did
it's
embrace
like,
it. I didn't hear any embrace.
No, it was not an embrace. No.
So if the player himself is against the nickname,
Mhm.
I think that has to get ruled out. So we've got a
so.
nickname problem right now.
Yeah.
So
Let's hear your Thad Young nickname.
let's hear your Thad Young nicknames. And like
And don't be like TY21, like, because that's how a lot of NBA nicknames are. CP3.
CB25. I think anytime your uniform number goes past
Oh
10,
my
that
God.
can't be a nickname. No, but I've uncovered a huge problem with this Raptors team. They have terrible nicknames.
I don't mind Dad Young. Dad Young is kind of cool to me
It is, but like
because he got 2 kids as well.
it's ruled out if the player himself says he doesn't want it, though.
I mean, Pascal doesn't even like Spicy P, but people still call him
Pascal
Spicy.
doesn't even like spicy food.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
that should be his nickname.
We got to figure that out, man.
Yeah, we should figure it out.
Yeah. All right, 3 minutes to go. Should I go into the break in case of emergency
I can't
topics?
wait. Let's hear it, man. Let's see the break in case
The
of emergency.
break in case of emergency topic today is I had a few people message me on Monday saying that they saw me at a poker tournament this past weekend.
You know what? To be fair,
What do you do? I'm tired of you saying to be fair on
no,
today's show.
listen. Like I said on the Chris podcast, it's not that cool to comment on people's appearances. All right?
Yes.
However, you are perpetually dressed like you're at a poker tournament. Like, can you just talk about this outfit right here?
What are we
A
doing? I'm wearing a
hoodie,
Raptors hat, a hoodie.
with the
some
glasses on.
vintage
If you had
Levi's
sunglasses on right now,
501s.
you look like every other person on Poker After Dark.
That's fair. That's fair. I actually wore this Raptors hat today because one of the people who messaged me said the person sitting next to me at the poker table was wearing a Raptors hat and had identical facial features and voice as you. And I tried to deny it, and he's like, don't worry, man, I won't blow your spot. Listen, if I was at a poker tournament, you don't think we're leading off the show?
There's a whole segment.
I
on
don't
that,
care
man.
if the Raptors just, beat the Sixers in game 1 of the first round. That's what we're leading the show with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, I do want to get in a couple poker tournaments, though. I think it's time for me to, embrace
To
the real
lose
me.
More money. To get pressed heads up. No, it's great. No, honestly, yeah, just playing cards with you was great. Just because I'm big into trash talk, just in general. I
Yeah,
just feel
I'm
like
not,
I'm a big
yeah.
talker.
I
and-
fold. Yeah.
And you were
I folded
genuinely
it.
rattled.
I
every
folded
time.
in every way. I folded in the chat. I folded on the table. I folded the first place prize money
You
too.
folded during the Boucher
Yeah, I think
interview.
we should get some whole cams in this studio. This can seat like 8 people. We could have a Raptor Show poker tournament in here.
No, we really should actually. Which Raptor do you think, if we had to invite one, to come play in the media
It
game?
has to be Fred. Fred will literally bring a pair. He'll bring a pair of dice, even though it's poker.
Yeah, but
He's
real
like
concerning
Snake
'cause
Eyes.
Fred's like, yeah, what's the buy-in? $20? How about 2,000? And we'll be like, okay, Fred.
I'm like, Fred, you want to sit or stand? Because we got to make sure that knee is good for the playoffs.
Oh,
man.
that's right. Yo,
Like-
you being this concerned about Fred's knee is hilarious to me, man.
What's the difference between, listen, that might be the downfall of the Raptors season, but we're not here to talk about that today.
No, the vibes are too good.
Kyle
The win was
Lowry
really good.
focused episode tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Sources say another draft coming your way.
Yes, but 60 minutes of Kyle Lowry tomorrow.
I can't wait, man. That's what we need. So that does it for us today. I'm your host, Walu. You've been listening to The Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Make sure you find The Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review our show. A reminder, we're streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel and on Sportsnet 360, Monday to Friday between 2 and 3 p.m. Thanks again to my producer and co-host, Alex Wong, to our board producer, Derek Van Dale, Jennifer Rolnick, for helping us behind the scenes with the YouTube stream. We'll talk to you soon.